We have a bit of a snooze fest in Formula One, IndyCar at Barber, NASCAR day late at Dover. Some interesting news out of the NASCAR world. No Wednesday night dash. Sapphire Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I am Eric Richardson. Had to
So
make an adjustment on the
make on
fly.
the fly, live adjustment of the camera. There you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
Extreme close up.
Hey, how are you?
Whoa! Don't sue me, Wayne's World. Don't sue me.
Make sure you
Uh,
freeze frame that. Put a t-shirt.
extreme close up.
We're now 3D.
So that we if you watched this weekend, and few of you did, tuned in with Andy Amendola to watch the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which was pretty boring. Checo wins. Hey, no Alonso on the podium this time. We got a Ferrari on there.
A little shake up.
And you notice that the Max and Leclerc switched spots on the podium.
Yeah.
I was like, really? And then the highlight of the race was Esteban Ocon almost mowing down the reporters who were let out in the pit lane with one lap to go.
Yeah,
It's like
granted it was unusual, but keep the
somebody
track
royally
closed.
screwed up there. It's like you knew he had to pit. He had to make his mandatory stop. He didn't. It's the last lap. He's gonna make his stop. And almost mows down a whole field of reporters.
And it's a blind entry too for the most part, because it's got a little chicane as you go in.
I went into the driver audio. He didn't say a word about it. Like I figured there would have been something said. He quietly went on his way. He did his stop. He got back out.
Just in so much disbelief, didn't know what to say
Yeah.
really.
I think it's to the point these drivers are like, yeah,
That
that's on
happened.
that's on brand for this now. Um, what can you do? Miami's this weekend though. That should be
Yep.
interesting. Doesn't
I'll
require
be
either staying up until 3 a.m. or getting up at 4 a.m. to watch this time around. So that'll be nice.
I'll only be 3 hours away, but unfortunately, I won't be there. I will be busy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Um, Not really much more to say on that. That's a little bit of drama in the sprint race on Saturday with George Russell taking a giant gash out of the side of Max's car. Did you see somebody took the meme of George with his like wall pose thing, and they put him on the in the gap of Max's
Yeah.
car. Oh, that was classic. So the Alpine drivers hung out with RFK Racing, tried some NASCAR stuff, which I think is cool. With that perspective too, because you get these Formula One guys, and um, NASCAR doesn't get the respect it deserves overseas, as these cowboy Americans driving in circles, and then you get these Formula One guys coming over, and you see you see, was it Pierre Gasly trying to jack up the car?
Him and
Couldn't
Ocon
do
were
it.
trying to.
Couldn't do it. I mean,
Was
they're
it
drivers. They're
yesterday?
not.
One of them was out in the car turning laps. I
Was
think at Charlotte,
Yeah, it was Ocon. I think he
and then
and
burned
then
it down.
yeah, he burned it down. So of course he had to do that. I mean,
Had
wouldn't
to.
you?
Oh, if I had a chance, definitely.
I think I really like seeing these Formula One drivers coming over and jumping into stock cars, and going through that experience, because it's just so totally different. And hearing someone like Jensen Button, who's a Formula One world champion, Kimi Räikkönen, also a Formula One world champion, talk about how difficult it is and how much fun they had. Um, it's very validating for the sport of NASCAR to have two high level
Yeah, it's fun to
Formula
see
One
him jump
drivers
in.
say that.
Hey, I got a quick question for you. Who
Yeah.
are we and what are we doing?
Wait, what?
Who are we and what are we doing with this?
What are you talking about? I'm missing something here.
We didn't intro who we are.
We didn't?
I don't think so.
We did.
We got sidetracked.
Oh, I swear we did. We'll have to check the tape. Just in case, I'm DJ Fluck.
I am Eric Richardson.
I swear we did, but we'll check the tape
I
when
distracted with the camera 3D mode.
I did introduce the show. Anyway, lost my train of thought there.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's been fun. NASCAR is heading to Kansas this week. That's always a kind of an underrated race, because it's, Kansas is one of those, newer tracks. It was built turn of the century, doesn't have the history as some of the other tracks on the circuit, but it seems to always have a pretty fun race out there.
Run low, run high, lots of options there.
Good. Yeah, it's a good track. I mean, it's one of those where it's just like, Kansas, but now it's like, oh, Kansas, okay. I mean, with some of the other races we've had this year, Dover, I watched decent amount of the race on Monday morning when they filled in, and I think honestly two things that stand out is you have a Truex sweep for the first time ever. You have Ryan Truex winning his first Xfinity Series race on Saturday, and then Martin Truex Jr. snaps his like 50 something 53 56 race losing streak and points race losing streak. He did win that Busch Clash at the beginning of the year, but that doesn't count.
It's great to see him get back.
Yeah, so you got the Truex brothers winning back to back. It's only happened a couple of times where they've had I think the last time they said it happened, it was Mike and Rusty Wallace in like the early 90s or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't. That's a pretty rare feat. So congratulations to the Truex family. Big weekend there for them.
And for the most part, that race just ran green the entire way.
Yeah, I mean, short of, Ross Chastain being Ross Chastain and punting someone. And, NBC asked Steve Letarte what he thought about it. And he said, like, if you were in a position to sign a driver, would you sign somebody like Ross Chastain? And he said, I absolutely would, because, this guy's running towards the front. He's competing for the win every week. It's like, okay, so he punts a few people. Like, what's the alternative? Like, would you rather have a mid-level or a guy who runs in the back? Like, no, of course not. This guy's going for the win, and he's, he pushes it to the limit. Maybe a little too far sometimes, but
yeah. Who was it? Larson, who asked, like, did he just wreck him?
And then it was Brennan Poole filling in. Was he in the 15? I think.
Yeah, he was in
the 15. He's like, someone's got to whoop his butt. I'm like, oof.
So is it safe to say Ross Chastain is turning into the villain now?
He is definitely turning
into
the
either
villain.
Like what he's doing, or you're like, somebody just needs to take him out.
It's weird too, because Kyle Busch this year has become, maybe it's his quote unquote old age. He's like, you're like a week older than him. I'm like 2 weeks younger than him. Maybe in his old age that he's kind of mellowing out and he's not being the villain anymore, and Chastain is kind of taking over that role. But it's
something.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I still like Ross. He'll be forever remembered for his, and the thing is, like, if Ross never wins another race or ever has a big, shining moment again, it's like he's got that.
He will be a Martinsville legend.
Or, I mean, he's a NASCAR legend for that move. I mean, that's going to be shown in highlight film. As long as NASCAR exists, that's going to be on a highlight reel every single time.
Oh, for sure.
But,
and then NASCAR goes and takes fun out of it.
Yeah.
Safety.
It's my immediate thought after the shock of seeing that was, holy crap, it's so fortunate that he didn't come off that wall too early or lose control coming off that wall, is that could have been bad for a lot of people. And NASCAR agreed, and that's why they changed the rules. But yeah, it's what it is. Kansas this week. IndyCar, Barber. Good race.
We were close to seeing another St. Pete.
Yeah.
They gave each other space this time, and congrats to McLaughlin on the win.
And wondering after seeing the first week of the 100 Days to Indy or whatever, if Joseph Newgarden is going to break his legs, because
I still haven't seen
that was my big
first
takeaway
episode.
from that episode, is that he would break his legs if he starts getting better than him.
He's close. He's getting
close.
some wins.
He's getting up there. Newgarden didn't have a good day. He had a rough weekend. Quite a few people had a rough weekend, but we are now in May. It is
Marcus
Month.
Armstrong had a great run.
Yeah, he did.
For a rookie.
Yes, he did. But we're officially in Indy Month. They'll be heading. We got the whatever Grand Prix race here in a couple weeks, week and a half, and
I'm excited. I will be sitting in turn 1.
Oh, you went with turn 1. Wait,
yep.
turn 1 of the road course or turn 1 of the oval?
Of the road course.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna see
Oh yeah.
We're gonna see who's gonna miss their brake marker.
Should be an interesting spot all day long.
Yeah, bring an umbrella. You might need it.
Yeah, just in case. I'm not sure what time we're gonna get there.
Have you ever been caught in a downpour at the track? Because I have.
Yes, Brickyard qualifying. And it was cold for August.
97 race. I was there. The one that got rained out Sunday and Monday. You know, it was just kind of overcast and it just starts pouring. And we're all kind of gathered under the grandstands, like in the tunnel to walk out into the the midway area there behind the grandstands. And we're just kind of all huddled there trying not to like freeze to death, because it's like, it's like the end of May and it's pouring rain. It's like 50 something degrees. I mean, it was cold. Yeah, oof, that was such a cold day. But
I don't think we're gonna get there at the beginning of the day, but they have the USF 2000 races, and I think Indy Lights earlier too. Kind of want to see one of those, and then of course the main one.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see those in person.
Yeah, a lot of racing.
I mean, basically, I've got my Peacock membership ready to go, but I've kept it. I bought it initially to hold soccer from like August to May, and then it's like, oh, I'm just gonna watch all the indie stuff on here, and now it's like, oh, now I'm watching the IMSA stuff on here as well. So it's just like, man, okay, so this Peacock investment turned into being pretty good. Yeah, they're heading to WeatherTech next, and or Laguna for traditionalists, and but yeah, like the month of May on Peacock, again, not getting compensated for this. I'm just saying, it's from like May 11th or 10th or something like that onward. Almost every single day, there's something going on at the Motor Speedway. Whether it's practice or qualifying or bump day, carb day, you got the Grand Prix race, you got the Grand Prix practice and qualifying, you got the 500. I mean, this is going to be a good month for IndyCar if you have a Peacock membership. I'll be taking full advantage of that. Looking forward to it.
I'm still tempted to drive down for something.
Well, I'll say it's $5 for the month. And I'll have to figure out how to get Motor Trend TV so I can watch some Le Mans in June. I mean, I'm looking at it as like, okay, you get a 7-day free trial, and if I miss that or something, or I forget, it's like, okay, I paid $5 to watch Le Mans. I mean, that's
a little cheaper than going.
I've spent far worse on my money on far worse on things. Including Magic the Gathering cards.
Nothing wrong with
that. Oh man, it's just like we've revisited full circle back to middle school. It's like, oh crap, I'm 12 years old again. But hey, I wasn't doing this when I was 12.
I'd hope not.
There were people that probably were that we knew that did. There were definitely
I'm
smoking
sure.
smoking a pack of cigarettes. I know there were kids at my bus stop. They'd come down reeking of cigarettes at like 12. I'm like, 12, man, what are you doing?
So not too much going on. Off week, like we said, with Wednesday Night Dash.
Hey, you got a win in behind closed doors yesterday.
Yeah, got the win at Iowa. Wasn't too sure going in. Sketchy a little bit.
Yeah, there were a couple moments there. Do you want to make your, I guess, the announcement's public by now, but do you want to make your announcement about the league, what you're going to do for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so fun announcement here. We are going to, instead of the $10 entry fee and prorating as we go, we're just going to shift it over to a free series. So if you're interested in running open wheel, come on out and join us until iRacing gets the license back. It's going to be a free league. We're still going to have the Rogue Starter Kit as a series champion. And then a couple other announcements. The Indy race is being pushed back a week to the 16th. It was a open Tuesday.
I was getting prepared for that, and I'm like, oh, I got an extra week now. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna need it because Indy will bite. And then clarifying out our season finale at Las Vegas is going to be Under the Lights.
Very nice. Good choice.
And then we are already getting set up for season 2. So that's going to be coming along. And I think I've already said it. Michigan is going to be the finale.
And then Wednesday Night Dash, we are going to be at Watkins Glen next week. You won't.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that one.
So Watkins Glen, I mean, I've got a couple things to work on in the boot that, I've run the Cup one many times. I've got that tracked down fairly well, but the boot, I got a few things to work on there. I'll get that practice in this weekend, and hopefully I'll have a semi-competitive week, unlike the last couple of weeks.
I'm sure I'm going to be the peanut gallery on Twitch watching along.
Just giving everyone a hard time. That'll be good.
I might have to split time with the stadium scene feed and listening along with Eli and the peanut gallery on our Twitch stream.
Let's say you could jump into the broadcast booth, even though you can't see it. Just blindly critique. I have to say, I do like your reel that you put up about the turning right and all the I wouldn't be able to condense mine into a minute or less. I've had a few.
And a couple of the mishaps from Lime Rock. One was I think they were both practice and warm up stuff that I did.
I do like the Lime Rock where you went upside down in the pit lane.
Oh yeah,
I never saw that. Like, oh wow, when did that happen?
I think that was a practice. I may have embellished that one a little bit after I went into the grass and caught the wall. And then
it's simulator.
It's actually happenstance. I made pit road. That was pure luck.
Let's say, did you get black flagged for that?
Probably.
I would have to think that would be an unsafe pit entry coming in on the roof of your car.
Still not the best pit road violation I've ever gotten.
The Texas one?
No, that was just unfortunate. The crash in Phoenix in the DW12 Delara Dash when I got
the one where he bounced over the wall
into pit road, and then I get cited for speeding. Like, that's not even right.
You bounced over the wall from the track onto the pit road. I'm like,
I think I got unsafe pit entry too.
I was about to say that is definitely an unsafe pit entry. Whether it was your fault or not, that's up for debate. But yeah. But it's a lot of good stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We'll do another we'll do Garage Talk Live race day for Monaco and the Indy 500, maybe part of the Coke 600. I'm not sure I could live stream 3 fairly long races in one day due to a combination of energy and my wife probably killing me for hiding up here all day on a Sunday. But we'll see.
I've already got the day set. I'm watching all 3, and Rogue is going to play a big factor.
Yeah, that's an early start. I think it's 5 a.m. to Monaco. Last year I got upset or because I woke up early and then they had that rain delay that delayed the start of it by like 45 minutes. And
How
then
much longer do they run Monaco?
I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously it's Monaco, it's it's iconic, the event is iconic, but the race is just so bad. I mean, honestly, there's two things I remember last year from Monaco outside of the rain, but two things involving cars was Nicholas Latifi crashing under the safety car.
What
And
else?
then Charles Leclerc's pit where he was told to pit and he pulls into the pit box and Carlos Sainz is still in there getting service. And then they're like, don't pit, don't box. And he's already there. It's like drops his F-bomb filled tirade.
Oh, Ferrari.
I still think somebody purposely in their strategy team is sabotaging them because nobody could be that incompetent.
Not that. If it was Williams, I'd understand it. Not Ferrari.
The thing is, like Williams, from a strategy standpoint,
They do some unique things.
They haven't been an issue. I mean, it's been, you had Latifi and his
they just need cars that can compete.
And then their cars are so uncompetitive, we'll say, and it's crazy that it's just, you have to wonder with Formula One, like they have this huge popularity surge right now. There's a lot of interest in it, but when people actually sit down and watch it, and it's Red Bull winning every week, like when does that interest start to wane? And I know we've said this many times before.
I don't think it's going to take long.
I mean, I find it hard to watch. You look at Australia, for example. I mean, or Azerbaijan. If it wasn't for Ocon almost plowing over the reporters, what else stands out from that race deal?
Qualifying was more exciting than the race.
I mean, Australia, you don't have the
Q1 was
the red flag
exciting.
chaos. Don't remember it.
Yep.
Yeah, Red Bull's won every race so far this year.
Well, see how long that streak continues.
The question is, does Red Bull win every single race? I mean, it seems like Checo's going to win every single street race this year.
It's, if both of them have mechanicals, that's the only way.
You'd have to think they're good for at least one of those.
Maybe one ends up with an issue during the season here and there. I'd be surprised to see both at the same race.
There was one, I forget what year it was. If it was 2001 or 2002, it was a Michael Schumacher year. And you look at his finishes throughout the entire season, it was like 1-1-1, 2-1-1-1, 2-2-1-1. I was just like, man.
There's Red Bull.
Yeah, and that's how Red Bull have become. Like, it's just, I mean, it's unreal how good they perform. And what happens? They change more rules. I mean, it seems like they got off pretty light from that budget, penalty last year.
What, a slap on the wrist, if that?
Oh no, we don't get to use the wind tunnel as much, but we're even faster this year. Like, okay. And then you have, George Russell accusing him of
until they put a car in the wind tunnel and find it's not in spec.
Well, yeah, you have George Russell accusing him of sandbagging, saying they're even faster than what they're coming off as, but they don't want rules changed. So it's like, yeah, we could be kicking your butt by even more than that. But
how funny would it be if their penalty actually aided them in getting a better car? That there's something that, because they weren't in there as much, prevented from being found out.
It might have.
That would be funny.
I
Not
mean,
saying it's true or I heard it anywhere, just random thought.
I mean, you know, Red Bull's secret weapon is not Max Verstappen. It's Adrian Newey. I mean, that guy can design a car and has
Yeah.
for a very, very long time. If I remember right, he was part of, I have to look it up now. He was part of Williams, their last like great years were in the the late 90s. Let's see. Yeah, he was at Williams from 91 to 96, McLaren from 97 to 05, and then he's been at Red Bull since 2006. All organizations that did well while he was there.
Yep.
His book is on my list to read at some point. I mean, it's obviously a very, very smart guy. But
I wish I was that smart.
he's just wonder how people can be that smart. But anyway, we might wrap, I think. This is actually probably a little shorter than usual, but hey, that happens. Okay. It's okay. But on a side note, thank you everyone for tuning in. I have no idea, like, we made a little bit of changes to try to increase the exposure, especially the podcast side of things. And since we've done that, this has really taken off. And I don't know why you are taking your time listening to us.
We appreciate it very much.
We do appreciate it. Absolutely. I mean, I can hardly listen to myself talk for 5 minutes, let alone 40 minutes. So thank you so much for listening. It's much, much appreciated. I mean, we're, our downloads are now into the thousands, and, we're getting, listens into the hundreds every week. I mean, it's unbelievable. This was a side project to try to, direct traffic back to Wednesday Night Dash and interest and talk about what we're learning. And this thing's taken on a life of its own. But sometimes it's just the things you don't expect.
And search us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at FR Racing Online. Shoot us a message, tell us where you're listening from and things that you'd like to hear about.
And that includes, let me pull up the analytics. I was looking at where people are listening from, and it's just like, what? On a side note, we're going to have a giveaway here because we're coming up next month will be the 2-year anniversary of our, we'll say our incorporation of FR Racing as an entity. And we're going to do a giveaway to celebrate that. And we're going to end the contest giveaway on our 2-year anniversary, which will be, I think I should know this, June 28th ish. And after that, we'll give away. We'll be posting updates in the next week or so. I have a really cool giveaway that we picked up, and it's on its way. Might be a few days before it shows up. Make sure everything's okay with it. Then we'll put up the pictures and we'll say, hey, this is our giveaway. So get us to 1,000 Instagram followers, subscribe to our show, subscribe to our social medias and streaming devices, and you'll get entered to win. So.
And keep an eye out on our social media. We're going to have some other fun things coming up here in the next month or so.
Yes, we got a couple of big announcements we'll be hyping here in the next couple weeks. So real quick on our geographic analytics here. Obviously, the U.S. is our biggest audience. That should go without saying. That's where we're based out of. Our second biggest is the United Kingdom. So hello over there. Ireland is third. And Singapore is fourth. Actually, Ireland and Singapore are tied for third. And then the next tier is Australia, Germany, Canada, and France.
Awesome to see just how it can get picked up over the world. And thank you all.
Hey, somebody listened from Monaco. You think it was Charles Leclerc?
Ooh, could be. It'd be awesome if it was.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully we're not too mean to your team. I'm seeing Taiwan, Ukraine, Philippines, Greece, Slovenia, Chile, Estonia, Ecuador, Vietnam, Slovakia, South Africa, Romania, Malaysia, Mexico, Japan, Hong Kong. If that Japan just popped on there, that's probably Taka.
It'd be funny if it is.
Taka, our social media guy, is he's over in Japan this week, so that was probably him. Israel, Denmark, Poland, India. I'm going to do a quick count before we go off the air. I know this is riveting. 2, 3, 4, 6.
We really enjoy doing this every week and just bringing our thoughts to you. Just two random guys that watch races and share our thoughts. We have no insider knowledge or anything on this.
No, we barely know anybody in the industry. But according to our analytics, there have been 50 countries that have listened to at least one episode of our show.
That's pretty cool.
And we thank you for that. We are truly a global phenomenon. Dare I say, are we we're the Beatles of racing podcasts, apparently. So won't make any other further comments on that because that's just going to get me in trouble.
If we time this right, our 50th Garage Talk episode could come up very close to our 2-year.
It's close. I think this is episode 42.
42?
42. Can you believe that? We've done 42 episodes in less than a year.
So you might have to take a week off somewhere, but
we have. I mean, that's
go. We might have to plan this. Or it'd be right around there.
But yeah, it's like we get into episode 50 at 1 year, and it's just like, man, 50. I mean, the average podcast, they say, here's this podcast stat again. The average podcast lasts 3 episodes. The top 1% of podcasts make it to episode 20. The top 0.00, I think it's 0.001% of podcasts make it to 100. So we are at 42 and counting.
I think we'll get there.
I think so. We're just flying along. As you listen, we'll keep making them. You don't listen, we'll keep making them. But we would prefer you if you did.
This is the next best thing when you can't just sit across the table on a weekend after a race and drink a beer. So kind of the equivalent. We're doing this anyway.
Yeah, right. I mean, got the beer, record this at night. Kids asleep. What else are we gonna do?
All things racing.
That's right. It's weird how this is like come and go in my lifetime, where it's just like as a kid it was huge, and it's just like I've always kind of casually watched. I would always watch the 500. I'd watch NASCAR fairly regularly, but it's just like now it's like it's back, and it's just like that childhood. Like that childhood has been, reinvigorated, and it's like, here we go. I'm like 12 years old again.
May has always been my favorite month of the year just because of our proximity to Indy.
And my birthday. Like I've had the race on my birthday multiple times now in my 37 years so far. Be 38 here in a couple weeks. But because of like weird leap year stuff, it's going to be a while again before it falls on my birthday again.
Yeah, I've always been around racing.
Actually, you know what's crazy? Let me show. I don't know if I've shown you this. I'm going to walk away for a second.
Yeah, I actually did a report on the 50th anniversary of NASCAR when I was younger. A lot of times on the short tracks, dirt track racing, Saturday nights. So
when I was born in the 1980s, which seems so long ago now, as I say that.
Wait, you got to clarify it. The late 1900s.
In the late 1900s, when I was born, in the 1980s specifically. So my mom was due in early June, and I showed up a bit early in late May. And my grandparents would always come out for the race every year for a very long time. up until the split. They would drive out every year over Memorial Day, and either my mom or my dad would go with my grandparents, and they'd go to the race every year. They did that every year from like 1981 to like 95 or something like that. And then the split happened. So my grandparents, this is 1985. There's no cell phones. My grandparents are literally driving from Pennsylvania out to Indiana, show up at my parents' house on like Friday afternoon or Saturday, I think. And I literally had just been born like a few hours earlier. They had no idea. They couldn't get a hold of them. My mom went into labor. They tried to call my grandparents and tell them they're already on the road. They were gone. Couldn't get a hold of them.
No cell phones.
They had no clue. So they showed up in Indiana at my parents' house, find out they were grandparents for the first time. And then my dad, my mom gets home. I don't know. You know what? I don't know who went that year. If my dad ditched my mom, who had just given birth like 2 days before to go to the race, or my grandparents just went by themselves. But my grandpa, I got this. He passed away a few years ago. My grandma was cleaning out her house and sent me this giant box last year of all his racing stuff, and it just die cast and stuff. So I pull this out of here, and in there is the ticket that he put in this, the hard acrylic plastic, his ticket stub from 1985, from, 2 days after I was born. And I was just like, wow. I mean, I looked at that and I was just like, man, like, do I start crying now or something? Is that like what a human would do when they see that? And I was just like, wow, that's so cool. I had no idea. He did this with this one, and then he did it again with his tickets to the inaugural Brickyard 400, which has no reference to any of my brothers because they were both already around. So in your face brothers.
The one thing that is fun with the Indy 500 tickets, the driver that's featured on it is the winner from the previous year.
Yes. And so 1984's winner was Rick Mears. Who was 80? I should know this. 85 was Danny Sullivan.
We had friends that went, but there was one ticket that I did request if I could get it one of.
Which one?
The year after Dan Weldon won.
Second? So that'd be 11. Yep, 1985, Danny Sullivan. That was his spin and win year. That's right.
So I did want that for the historical factor. And I think I have the ticket from Castro Nevis's fourth.
I don't know what happened. So I've only been to 3 actual 500s. I mean, I've been to the practices and all the carb day, many of those. And I have no idea well, I do know where the 2008 ticket. That's in my closet behind me. But the ones from the 90s, they must be at my parents' house still.
I think I've now been to 6.
Saying the national anthem in 1985?
No idea.
I'm checking this. Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry. Be happy.
I still want to get, there's 3 tickets that I want to get framed all together. And that's the 2020 and 2021 race. Because I originally had tickets for May 2020.
Of course. That was the one that was.
Then it got postponed.
Postponed to August.
Then the tickets got sent out for the August race. So I have those.
Did you go?
They shut fans out like the week
of. That's right.
So I have 2 tickets for the race
that no fans were allowed to go to.
And then I went in 21. So I have that ticket.
I have to go back and watch the 2020 race again. I don't remember much about it. I know I watched it, but I do not remember.
Sato.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't remember much about the race. But it just that's got to be so weird.
I don't remember really the race, but it was so weird seeing the 33 cars racing in an
Nope.
empty Indianapolis.
Nobody there. No,
it was almost an eerie
Ugh.
thing watching it. If you ever get a chance, go to the Indy 500.
Yes,
there's a reason it's called the greatest spectacle in racing.
It's unreal. It's just, I mean, the last time I went was with you in 2008, and we had our cooler full of Bud Lights. We were pounding Bud Light.
Oh, we were still young and dumb.
Well, we also had to take it easy too. Like, we couldn't get ourselves like blitz drunk when we had to get ourselves home that day legally. Oh man.
Oh, it's coming up. I'm excited to see a different race at Indy.
3 weeks away ish. Actually, my third birthday in 3 weeks. Another one of those. Yikes.
Yeah, I stopped counting.
I'm having a hard time with this whole concept now that 40 is almost here, because one, I'm in complete denial, one. And two, it's just like, it's 40. Like,
we are not that old.
We're not that old, one. We are, but it doesn't feel like that. And two, it's like we are now beyond 50% of the average American male lifespan.
Yeah, don't say that.
Which terrifies the crap out of me. And I'm having a very hard time with that. So please, science, I want to be, they keep talking about people in our lifetime are going to live to be like 130. I volunteer for that. I want to be there for that. That would be kind of cool, because then I would be able to see the year 2100 if I can pull that off. But we'll see. Science, come on.
That would be kind of cool.
Don't let me down, science. On that note, I think we'll actually wrap this time. I said that like 10 minutes ago.
Keep an eye on our social media. Things are coming.
Yeah, events, fun stuff, giveaways. If you're not following us, why? Like, you need to be. Real followers, not spam people, not one of you trying to collaborate with your knockoff product like, hey, collab. No, thank you. frracingonline.com. Check out, there'll be a post here very soon on my experience updating my gaming PC to Windows 11. A lot of people have held off doing that, but I took the plunge. See how it went for me. FR Racing Online, social media, streaming. Check out Wednesday Night Dash next week. Check out Behind Closed Doors. And we'll see you next week.
Take care. Thanks for listening.